everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Fine Cider Friday for 2021. And following on from last night's party that nobody had, I am here with three special guests for my socially distanced disco for three. And this year is kicking off with three Discovery single variety ciders, hence the disco theme. Two of them have got disco in the title. Three producers: Herefordshire, Little Pomona; Gloucestershire, Bushel and Peck; and all the way down in Kent, Kentish Pip. Even got glasses to match. This is fantastic, isn't it? So, you'll notice that these two have the same name, Disco Nouveau, independent of each other, but still decided to name their bottles the same, based on the theme of Bushel Nouveau, which is French wine day in November, where the latest wines from that year's pressing, the newest wine is released, and cider has tried to follow suit this year and have their own Cider Nouveau Day. So I'm starting 2021 basically with three of the newest ciders from 2020. Discovery is a really early fruiting variety. The fruit's ready late August, so that gives maximum time to get something fermented and ready for sale in November. So these were all released around that time, although Kentish Pip weren't going for a Nouveau Day, they were just releasing it as a new product. These two are Pet Nat, so they were bottled before the primary fermentation finished. So the finish in the bottle. The Bushel and Peck was fermented to dryness and then bottled with a little bit of priming sugar to create the sparkle, so bottle conditioned. In effect, they're all bottle conditioned, but this one's just had a little bit of sugar added. So, where do we start? Right, I had them in the fridge just to keep things chilled a little bit. Any liveliness, hopefully, but they've been out about half an hour or so, so we'll have to see. So we'll start with Little Pomona, we'll go right to left. So here we go. Nice little pop there. Good little bit of sediment in all of them from the bottle conditioning. Let's have a pour of Little Pomonas. I'll show you the label in a minute, because that would have been good, wouldn't it? A nice level of fizz there. I'll bring that label up for you because it is brilliant. Okay, so in the glass, oh, this is stupid, isn't it? Everything's a yellow tinge with these glasses on, so I'll look, and it is a yellowy tinge. Slightly hazy, as expected on the nose. Yes, it's definitely Discovery. Discovery is a great apple for cider. It's one of the ones that you can instantly tell by the aroma. It's full of kind of citrus, strawberries, maybe like a bit of gooseberry. It's got loads of fruit on the nose, and it's really floral as well. When I had first tried this a few weeks ago, probably just after it just came out, there was a bit of a yeasty character to it still, I think, because it was still conditioning in the bottle, that Pet Nat method. But that's kind of gone now, which is fascinating, and it now just smells insanely of Discovery apples. So let's have a taste. Oh man, everything on the nose dialed up on the palate. It's like biting into a Discovery apple. Bubbles are really, really gentle. Gives it a nice zingy, crisp feel to it. It's really juicy. There's that little zing of like grapefruit. It lingers. It's kind of almost a perception of sweetness there, just because it's so fruity, I think. I really like that. Right, let's try Bushel and Peck. Ooh, a bit more vibrant there. Oh, it's going. Thank goodness for tablecloths. There's a little Bushel in that one, which sticks out a bit different to this one, out of interest. Therefore, if you're going to disgorge, wow, this is going. God. I should have brought some towel. I haven't got one. Let's pour it in the glass before it goes any further. God. Quite a lot of sediment stirred up by that. Maybe it should have been left a little bit colder. Alright, let that dissipate a bit. Colour is very similar to the Little Pomona. Looking under my glasses, slightly hazier, but that's, I think, it's all the sediment stirred up. Great label on this one. You can take it off and look on the back, and David has written everything of where the apples came from, what the gravity of the sugar was at different stages of the fermentation. There's so much detail, it's brilliant. Right, let's have a sniff of this one too. So this is different. This is different on the nose to Little Pomona. It's really going. I don't know if you won't hear it, but it's really fizzing. There's a bit more of the kind of yeasty notes to it. Like a bit bready-like. Bready, is that a word? A bit toasted. There's not that kind of florality that I got with Little Pomona. There's not so much obvious discovery to it. Not the kind of grapefruit and gooseberry. This is, yeah, that's interesting. It's kind of like a little bit woody. Yeah, a little bit yeasty. I don't know how to describe it. Let's have a taste. Okay, it's got that acidity. It's got a bit of citrusy zing to it. The mouthfeel is moussier because there's more bubbles. It's still quite juicy, quite fresh, but that kind of the strawberry, grapefruity flavours that were you get with the discovery are not here. I don't know if it's maybe not quite finished conditioning yet, but you'd think by that amount of fizz it would be, but it's just got a little bit more of a bread yeast brioche type, like you get from Champagne Method. It's definitely got some of that in there. Okay. It tastes more aged. I don't know if that makes sense. This tastes fresher and leaner. This tastes a little bit more boisterous and chewy, which sounds odd for a drink. But let's try the Kentish Pip. No Bushel in that one. Lots of fizz. Is it going to? I don't think it's going to go. There's not as much sediment in the bottom as in this one. So maybe like a little bit less carbonation might prevent that happening. So a little less added sugar, especially as David was in control of how much he added. Let's give this a pour. There's a little bit of a haze coming up. There's a little bit of sediment in the bottom. That's a good amount of bubbles there. Have a look at. I love this label. I mean, the artwork is fantastic, isn't it? Beautiful that. So Peck nap like Little Pomona's. More fizz though, and more sediment stirring up. I think this is my favourite carbonation level of the three so far. Colour, it's a little bit paler. Still quite hazy because of that in-bottle fermentation finishing. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if you can see on the bubbles at the top. There's kind of like a rosy, orangey tint come to it thanks to that sediment rising up, which is an interesting pattern. Right, let's have a sniff. All right. Well, this is kind of like we should be doing this for the nose because it's definite discovery at the back. There's all that grapefruit, bit of strawberry, and then at the end there's kind of this little bit of yeast autolysis, that kind of bready, slightly savoury note. But actually, the more you leave it, the more the discovery overtakes. Yeah, okay, let's have a taste. It's all discovery. In fact, it's not quite as acid-led at the front like the other two appeared to be. It's still really juicy. It tastes a bit sweeter. I don't know why. Or it feels like it's sweeter. It's almost like a sweet sour thing. You know where you get so much sugar it almost curls your tongue a little bit. And it's definitely hitting the cheeks with that kind of grapefruit-like acidity. Actually, the bubbles aren't dissipated quite quickly compared to maybe this one. Yeah, one more sip and then I'll have to try a favourite. That's definitely the sharpest of the three. So, right, one more taste through and then I'll quickly pick, because I've had you watching for ages. I'm not even going to tell you this time. Oh, do you know what? This is hard. I always say it's hard, but I do love all three of these producers, and the stuff they make is fantastic. James, Susanna and Blair at Little Pomona, they're making amazing stuff at the minute. Sam at Kentish Pip, you know, this is the one of 3 fine ciders that he's brought out at the end of 2020, and all are marvellous. And David is really testing and pushing the boundaries this year. And if you'll remember, he did a talk with me on Instagram Live earlier in the year, and we had a great chat about some of the things he was coming out with, and this is an extension of that. So all brilliant producers. I think actually this order is my preference, because I love this. I love the kind of encapsulation of Discovery Apple. I think the balance is great on the carbonation, and in terms of juiciness with acidity, it's just crisp, refreshing, lovely. This is great as well. A little bit too fizzy, which is why this is third, because it's almost too much for me. And I think that detracts a little bit from the kind of the fruit that's hidden under there. I mean, it's great too. It's definitely Discovery, but for some reason this just seems a little leaner, cleaner. This is a little more acidity. It tastes like there's more acidity in it for me. And then the third one, there's just too much fizz in there, and I think that's given a bit more character in terms of the that kind of yeast autolysis note I mentioned earlier, which just pushes it away. But I mean, they're all great Discovery ciders, but yeah, it's the Little Pomona for me. So, right, cheers to James, Blair, and Susanna at Little Pomona. Cheers to Sam and Frederick and everybody else at Kentish Pip. Cheers to David and everyone at Bushel and Peck. Happy New Year to you all. Thanks for watching. I hope to bring you some great videos this year. Look out for the rest of January. I'm going to do some Instagram lives with Adam Wells, mind blank, with Adam Wells, and we're going to do a tour of the world. So there's going to be some fantastic stuff coming up. And yeah, cheers to you all.